Hiya folks, welcome to the show. Second verse, same as the first. Today we're looking over seasons 3 and 4 of Phineas and Ferb to find out the what, the why, and the when. But first, allow me to waste your time with a semi-relevant message. Did you know that only 0.9% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed to my channel? I mean, I get it, but still, 1% would be nice. So I'm going to take this time to politely ask you all to like, comment and subscribe because according to YouTube I have to tell people to do that instead of letting my content speak for itself. We good? Okay, let's get on with the video. Before I start ordering the episodes, I would first just like to expand on why I think Phineas and Ferb has to take place over 2 summers. Ignoring the fact there's only 104 days in Phineas and Ferb's summer, yet there's 222 episodes, the whole idea of 4 seasons taking place over 1 summer falls apart because of 1 episode. Season 4, Episode 2, Happy New Year. In this episode, Candace has made a New Year's resolution to stop trying to bust her brothers, but realizes she still has until midnight to accomplish her goal. So she tries to get Linda to see that Phineas and Ferb have built a New Year's sphere to ride in as it drops from space. Meanwhile, Doofenshmirtz creates the Resolution Changerinator and plans to change everyone's New Year's resolution to obeying him. Well, that just sounds like your standard Phineas and Ferb fare, so what about this episode means the show has to take place over 2 summers? Spoiler alert! In the series finale, The Last Day of Summer, Vanessa helps Doofenshmirtz to see that he isn't truly evil and only acts like he is out of obligation due to his traumatic childhood, and the series ends with Doof officially becoming a good guy. So why is he carrying out a sort of evil scheme in Happy New Year? Now to some, the answer here seems simple. I mean, Happy New Year just takes place before the series, right? Then how do you explain Jeremy and Candace being in a relationship in Happy New Year when they only got together at the end of Summer Belongs to You, which, as you may recall, occurs on July 21st, the summer solstice. So the episode can't go before the series, and it can't go after the series, therefore it has to go in the middle somewhere, and since I have my doubts that New Year's Eve takes place during summer in this universe, Phineas and Ferb has to take place over 2 summers, which means we have a slight issue. The creators say the show takes place over 1 summer, and there are episodes in seasons 3 and 4 that reference things from the first 2 seasons as happening that same summer, but the character development and story arcs don't match up with that. So now, it's not just about figuring out the second summer, but I'll have to tweak the first summer to incorporate any episodes in seasons 3 and 4 that reference season 1 and 2 as being the same summer. For example, Phineas's Birthday Clip-O-Rama is a clip show from early season 3 focused on Phineas's birthday that references seasons 1 and 2 and has Phineas say this line.
I mean, so far, this has been a rockin' great summer.
So this would take place during the first summer of the series, but since it references Hawaiian Vacation, which I originally said would be at the very end of last year's summer, that no longer makes sense. However, this episode, as I said before, is a clip show that goes as far as to reference Phineas and Ferb Get Busted, an episode in a dream that Irving shouldn't have footage of. So I'm just going to call Phineas's Birthday Clip-O-Rama non-canon. But that just gives you an idea of how messy and convoluted this is about to get. Sometime before the summer begins, the Flynn Fletchers and Stacy visit England, during which Elementary My Dear Stacy happens because there's nothing in the episode that says it has to be during summer. Same as last time, summer begins May 19th, or somewhere around that point. Run Candace Run takes place on the first day of summer. When Worlds Collide takes place May 20th, as shown by the Buster card Candace signed May 6th, which Linda says they wrote 2 weeks ago. The episode also mentions how Candace tried to show Linda a giant ant farm earlier that day, which means Giants takes place just before. So on May 20th we have Giants and When Worlds Collide. Then we have The Great Indoors, Canderemy and Belly of the Beast. For the first weekend of summer, everyone goes to Camp Phineas and Ferb just like last year, which is where we get Last Train to Bustville. Once they arrive back home that Monday, we get Moon Farm, Ask a Foolish Question, Misperceived Monochrome, Candace Disconnected, Magic Carpet Ride, and Bad Hair Day. We can't put Meatloaf Surprise as the next episode because it mentions Candace spent time at camp the previous summer, which obviously didn't happen since, well, we've seen everything that happened the previous summer. You can probably guess what I'll end up doing with this episode, but we're going to put it to one side for now. Most of the time shift episodes are obviously not canon, so next we have Phineas and Ferb Interrupted, Real Boy, Mommy Can You Hear Me, which says Candace is going to a Tiny Cowboy concert tomorrow, which means we skip a day. Over the next week, the family goes on a road trip, where we get the episode Road Trip. Picking back up partway through June, we have Skiddlywiffers and Tour de Fur. Skiddlywiffers includes an interesting tidbit, which is Perry's 999th lair entrance, which would make it over 2.5 years since the Flynn Fletchers got Perry. But in Across the Second Dimension, Phineas says it's been 5 years, so does this episode take place a few years ago? Well, it can't, because Buford's in it. I'm just going to chalk this up to Carl messing up the dates or something, because honestly, I have no idea. Next is My Fair Goalie, Bullseye. I do not consider The Curse of Candace canon, so we're skipping that. Next is Escape from Phineas Tower, which takes place on International Good Manners Day, which is the first day of September, so that doesn't work. Let's just say it happens when it happens, since that's apparently what the writers did. Continuing in June is Ferb Latin and Lots of Latkes. Phineas and Ferb Family Christmas takes place in the middle of summer according to Candace, so we'll have to be back with that later. What a Crock is another episode that references stuff from season 1 happening during that summer, and also references Moon Farm, so both of those episodes have to be removed from this summer. Ferb TV is next, followed by Moms in the House, Minor Monogram and Monster from the Id, and with that we finally arrive at Across the Second Dimension, which can only come at this point in the timeline as it includes several references to season 3, in both Doofs and Aters and the recreations of the boys' inventions. In particular, we see Rover from Canderemy, the mechanical shark from Belly of the Beast, the balloons from Last Train to Bustville, and the Underwearinator from Monster from the Id. And there's nothing that could possibly contradict this movie occurring in the second summer.
Wow, summer sounds like a blast. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Like this summer, for instance, we built a roller coaster, we became one-hit wonders, we traveled through time.
Yep, they referenced episodes from the first season as taking place that summer, which means the aforementioned episodes and Across the Second Dimension have to be part of the first summer. You see what I mean when I said this will get messy. Continuing, we have Agent Doof, if you consider that canon, which I'm kind of on the fence on. Then it's Delivery of Destiny, Let's Bounce, Quietest Day Ever, Bully Bromance Breakup, The Dukelberry Imperative, and Buford Confidential. In Sleepwalk Surprise, Candace says it's her and Jeremy's 2-month, 9-day anniversary. Even if she is lying in that moment, this does mean her and Jeremy haven't been dating for that long, meaning this episode has to take place the same year as Summer Belongs to You. Then we have Meatless in Seattle and the Mom Attractor. Then in Cranius Maximus, Buford does what he does best: create problems for the timeline.
3 months of summer vacation and I am losing my edge!
Has it only been 3 months? Because I've been adding up all the things we built this summer, and we're way over 150.
Why? Even ignoring that, this episode says they are 3 months into summer, so this episode would take place sometime during July or early August. That means they'll be about 80 days into this summer. Don't know how reasonable it is to say Phineas and Ferb did over 150 inventions in that amount of time, but I will grasp at any straws to stop this whole thing from falling apart. The next episode is Sipping with the Enemy, which starts another shift in the series when Vanessa and Monty Monogram start dating. Now I just have to pray no episodes featuring them reference the roller coaster as being the first day of summer, because if that happens, I will scream. Then we have Tri-State Area Book of Secrets, Doofus, and Norm Unleashed. Road to Danville is another episode that references how long the summer is. Thank you, Buford. So that is going to go later as well. Production-wise, the next episode is Where's Perry, which sees everyone take a vacation to Africa. I'm not going to put it next just because the family just had a road trip less than 3 weeks ago, so I'm going to move this special into July. The same day Norm Unleashed takes place, we have Blackout. Then the next morning, Ferb leaves for debate camp and returns a day early at the start of What Did I Miss? The season 3 finale, This Is Your Backstory, is another clip show. They sure did have a lot of those, didn't they? And uses clips from episodes like Road to Danville that haven't happened yet, so we have to move that to later. Meaning we are mostly done with season 3, so it's on to season 4. We pick right up with Fly on the Wall. An episode I thought was going to give me trouble as I knew they referenced Roller Coaster and several other early inventions such as the portal to Mars. Thankfully nothing they say contradicts all that being during last summer, so that wasn't a problem. What was a problem was this.
I'm telling you, I'm dry, Perry the Platypus, dry, and the summer just keeps going on and on. It feels like it's been going on for like 4 years.
However, I do have a solution that would completely avoid this issue while still keeping the joke. We simply move Fly on the Wall to the end of the summer. Since Doofenshmirtz would still technically be right as the entire Phineas and Ferb series lasted 8 years. Therefore, the second summer would still feel like 4 years, so aha! Take that, writers who purposefully put that in the episode just to ruin this video that's being made 8 years later. Okay, so it doesn't make that much sense, but I don't see you coming up with any ideas. My Sweet Ride is after What Did I Miss, followed by Bully Bust, which takes place in the morning, but I'm reserving the rest of the day for an unseen invention. Backyard Hodgepodge comes after It's No Picnic, so we can't include it just yet. The next episodes are Der Kinderlumper, Just Desserts, B-Day, and B-Story, which occur at the same time. The next episode, Sidetracked, mentions Canada Day as being relatively soon, so we have to move that back a few days so it can occur before July 1st. I'm going to put it on June 29th. Then we have Not My Problem, Mindshare and Primal Perry. La Candace Cabra has to come after the Klimpaloon Ultimatum, so we have to set that aside for now. Happy Birthday Isabella is next and features the last major change to the status quo with Stacy learning of Perry's identity, which doesn't really come up all that much, which as a fan I'm disappointed about, but as someone trying to put all this in order, I appreciate it more than you could possibly imagine. The end credit scene of Happy Birthday Isabella takes place the following day, and the scene doesn't match up with any following episodes, so that's a day we just don't see. The next day we have Great Balls of Water and Where's Pinky? If we're counting Mission Marvel, it has to come after Where's Perry since it references the Disintegrator-inator, so that has to come later. Next is Thanks But No Thanks in Troy Story, which is the latest episode to get referenced in Candace Against the Universe, meaning from this point on that movie can happen at any time. Then it's Love at First Bite. One Good Turn cannot come next as it references Backyard Hodgepodge, which hasn't happened yet as It's No Picnic has to come before it. The next episodes are Cheers for Fears, Just Our Luck, Return Policy, and Imperfect Storm. Now I'm just going to put Phineas and Ferb's Family Christmas next because why not? Then we have Steampunks, It's No Picnic, and Terrifying Tri-State Trilogy of Terror. Face Your Fears references the rovers on Mars that got destroyed during Unfair Science Fair Redux as happening that summer, meaning that episode has to take place the previous year. The next episode is the Klimpaloon Ultimatum. Then next episode production-wise is Father's Day, which should be the third Sunday of June, so that has to go there, and everything except Sidetracked has to move up. Then we can finally put in Backyard Hodgepodge, followed by Operation Crumb Cake and Mandus. Then everyone goes to Africa for a week and we get Where's Perry? When the family flies home, we get Return of the Rogue Rabbit and Live and Let Drive. Then we can throw in La Candace Cabra, One Good Turn, Cranius Maximus, and Mission Marvel just to get them out of the way. Tales from the Resistance obviously doesn't have anything to do with this timeline, so next we have Lost in Danville, The Inator Method, Road to Danville, Fly on the Wall, and This Is Your Backstory. Night of the Living Pharmacist isn't canon, so that just leaves Phineas and Ferb Save Summer, Candace Against the Universe, and Last Day of Summer, which all take place during August. We're just going to ignore that small reference to Roller Coaster in Last Day of Summer because I just don't want to do this anymore. Drusel Stinnerween takes place after this summer since Doofenshmirtz doesn't really do anything evil in it, so it can easily come after he becomes good. And that about wraps up Phineas and Ferb's second summer. So just to give a quick overview, Run Candace Run takes place May 19th, the first day of summer. Giants and When Worlds Collide takes place May 20th, followed by The Great Indoors, Ask a Foolish Question, Misperceived Monochrome, Candace Disconnected, Magic Carpet Ride, Bad Hair Day, Phineas and Ferb Interrupted, Real Boy, Mommy Can You Hear Me? We don't see the next day as Candace is at a Tiny Cowboy concert. Then the family goes on a road trip for the next week. When they get back, we have Skidly with Us, Tour de Ferb, My Fair Goalie, Bullseye, Escape from Phineas Tower, Ferb Latin, Lots of Latkes, Ferb TV, Mom's in the House, Father's Day, which is on June 15th, Minor Monogram, Agent Doof, Delivery of Destiny, Let's Bounce, Quietest Day Ever, Bully Bromance Breakup, The Dunkelberry Imperative, Buford Confidential, Meepless in Seattle, Mama Tractor, Sipping with the Enemy, Tri-State Area Book of Secrets, Doofopus, Sidetracked, which occurs just before Canada Day on June 29th, Norm Unleashed and Blackout take place on the same day, Ferb and Perry leave for debate camp the next morning and return the next day for What Did I Miss?, My Sweet Ride, Bullybust, The Kinderlumper, Just Desserts, B-Day and B-Story occur at the same time, Not My Problem, Mindshare, Primal Perry, Happy Birthday Isabella, skipping a day for the end credit scene of that episode, then we have Great Balls of Water, Where's Pinky, Thanks But No Thanks, Troy Story, Love at First Bite, Cheers for Fears, Just Our Luck, Return Policy, Imperfect Storm, Phineas and Ferb's Family Christmas, Steampunks, It's No Picnic, Terrifying Tri-State Trilogy of Terror, The Klimpaloon Ultimatum, Backyard Hodgepodge, Operation Crumb Cake, Mandus, Where's Perry, which leaves us in Africa for the next week, Return of the Rogue Rabbit, Live and Let Drive, La Candace Cabra, One Good Turn, Cranius Maximus, Mission Marvel, Lost in Danville, The Inator Method, Road to Danville, Fly on the Wall, This Is Your Backstory, Phineas and Ferb Save Summer, Candace Against the Universe, and finally, The Last Day of Summer. Then we also have Doof 101, The Alka Files, and Drusel Stinnerween taking place sometime after that. And with that, we have finally finished solving the Phineas and Ferb timeline. Is what I wish I could say. However, we still have 9 other episodes and Across the Second Dimension to fit into that first summer, as well as all the little details that up until now I hadn't accounted for, such as making sure all the episodes that have Candace with a flip phone come before her smartphone is introduced. So buckle in, because we're not quite done yet, and be sure to come back next week as I make any amendments to the 2 summers and finish solving the Phineas and Ferb timeline. In the meantime, I'm just going to be lying down here and thinking about my life choices. You guys can just go if you want. This, might take a while.
Wait a minute.